China Belt and Road spending dips in H1, with no investment in Russia. Studies Shanghai China's finance and investment spending in Belt and Road international locations fell barely within the first one-half in comparison to a year in advance, with no new coal initiatives and investments in Russia, Egypt and Sri Lanka falling to zero, new research showed. Saudi Arabia was the most important recipient of Chinese investments over the duration, with approximately $5.5 billion, in line with the Shanghai-based Green Finance and Development Center (GFDC) in studies published on Sunday. Total financing and investment stood at $28.4 billion over the length, down from $29.6 billion a year earlier, bringing total cumulative Belt and Road spending to $932 billion considering that 2013, GFDC mentioned. President Xi Jinping released the Belt and Road Initiative in 2013 aiming to harness China's strengths in financing and infrastructure production to construct a large network of shared interests all through Asia, Africa and Latin America. But it has come under scrutiny for the debt burden it places on nations and other problems along with environmental degradation. Some nations have additionally renegotiated their investment tasks with China, highlighting the debt dangers. No new coal tasks acquired Chinese guide over the length after a pledge made at the United Nations General Assembly via Xi remaining September to position an end to distant places coal financing. However, a Chinese developer received a bid to construct a thermal electricity plant in Indonesia in February, and there are still 11.2 gigawatts of ability that have already secured financing even though are but to start off production, according to GFDC, part of Shanghai's Fudan University. China has persisted to provide aid to different fossil fuel initiatives in Belt and Road international locations, with oil and gas amounting to around 80% of China's foreign places strength investments and 66% of its production contracts, GFDC mentioned. Engagements in gas initiatives stood at $6.7 billion in the first half of, as compared with $9.5 billion over the complete of closing 12 months, it stated. Green power and hydropower transactions fell 22% from a year in advance. Investment rose to $1.4 billion from $400 million, however green energy-related construction spending fell to $1.6 billion, much less than half the level at 12 months earlier.